Hi, everybody. I just want to take a few minutes and talk about peer reviews for a little bit and our late work policy. I want to share my screen. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about what we are going to start instituting within late work, and then hopefully it won't take very long. One of the big concerns I have at this point in the term is that everybody should be sort of getting their peer reviews done, getting their field reports under control, know what to expect in the quizzes and the exams. And that's the kind of thing I'm just looking to see kind of rolling every week. You should kind of now have an expectation of what next week's going to bring, what this week is. Because of that, one of the biggest problems that can happen is the students fall behind. They don't get last week's stuff done. So this week they have everything that's due this week plus stuff that was due last week, and then it starts to feel very overwhelming. And so the best way I can kind of stop that from happening is to institute some late work policies. So I just want to go through these real fast and let you know that starting next week, this is really where we're going to start instigating. First of all, quizzes, they just have to happen by Wednesday night. So you know that those are in, they're from the book. They shouldn't take you a terribly long time. Just go in and get your quiz taken care of. If you miss a quiz, it's 10 points. In the big picture, you're going to be okay. Try not to miss the quizzes, but I don't usually go back and unlock quizzes. They're just in, they're done, they're due. Exams, I'm just going to skip over to the exams next. Basically, I know, especially considering all the struggles we're going through right now, it's likely that you may miss an exam. You may not make an exam at the time you need it to for 100 different reasons. I will allow one late exam for this semester for each of you. So if you send me an email asking for an extension, what's going on, I will probably give you an extra day or so to unlock that exam and let you have a crack at it. That means not every week. It just means, I assume that each of you at least one time will have a reason why you may need to have your exam taken on Monday, not Saturday night. So if that's the case, as long as you ask me, I'll unlock it. Just let's not make a habit of it. So I will unlock an exam for you once during the semester. Finally, I just really want to talk about field reports. To me, this is where we start running into some problems. The first one is the draft. It has to be handed in by Thursday night. If it's not handed in by 11:59 on Thursday night, what happens at exactly 12 o'clock a.m., I think it's 12:01 a.m. on Friday morning, is Canvas automatically sorts these reviews and sends them to your peers. So if you don't get your draft in on time, you don't get to do your peer reviews. It just doesn't happen. So I can't really go back and assign peer reviews after the fact. They're done. They're in a closed section that has already been assigned. So you've got to get those in order for you to be able to get your peer reviews. Make draft on time. The other issue we see often, or I will see often, and it's already starting to happen in this class, is that you're doing your peer reviews late. They really need to be done on Friday. If you hand them, let's think about it this way, the draft is due on Thursday, the final is due on Saturday night. If you hand somebody peer review criticism Saturday night, it's too late. That person has probably already submitted their final draft, their final report. And so there's no value if you are giving this peer review criticism Saturday afternoon. There's very little. They're waiting. That just makes somebody sit around waiting on you, and that's not very thoughtful either. So the way I'm looking at it is, get those reviews done on Friday and submit them by Friday. If for some reason you don't get that done on Friday, I will still accept your peer reviews that you give to others as being completed if you do them by Saturday before noon Mountain Time. Because at least then in the morning, the person can get up, read your stuff, make some changes, make a submission. But afternoon, I will not give you points for your peer review quiz if you don't do it. So, because in my opinion, that's not done. I holistically look at peer reviews as a two-pronged experience, meaning that half of that 10-point quiz is that you did your peer reviews. Half of that 10-point quiz is that you submitted your draft in time so others could do peer reviews. That being said, one of the things that people are already starting to do is to say, wow, I haven't done my field report yet, but it's Thursday night, so I'm just going to take the template. I'm going to change 2 or 3 words in the template, and I'm going to submit it. That way, everybody thinks I've done a draft, and I get to participate in peer reviews, even though I really haven't done any work. What you'll see there is that that cheats your peers from the opportunity of seeing a good report. So don't do that. If you do that, I will take away points from your review quiz because you aren't giving somebody else a chance for a review. And, you know, one of the sneakier things I've already seen is somebody knowing that if they just put the template in, it would look like it's been copied, it will flag as plagiarism, and not wanting it to flag, they just wrote a piece of paper on Word that said, I owe you 1 draft. It submitted that as a peer review. And then that way they got to participate in peer reviews, even though they did 0 of the work on doing a draft report. That kind of stuff, in my opinion, is cheating. And I will give you no points on your quiz if you do something along that line. So I just want to make sure that's super clear, that you actually have to submit a real draft on Thursday, then participate in peer reviews on Friday, so you can get those points for the peer review. Obviously, sometimes power goes out, life happens, and life has been happening at a record pace for all of us this term. So sometimes you don't get your final report in on Saturday night. Submit it as soon as you can. As I said, I'll take 10% off. If I get that on Monday and it says it's late, I will take 10% off, but I'll still take it. We'll still grade it. But just realize that it's 10% per 24 hours. I don't count the Sabbath day as part of that time. So do it, and it's still worth your time handing in if it's late, but just realize that there will be a penalty. So I hope this clarifies kind of expectations within particularly the field report. I want to emphasize that you have a very attentive TA, Sarah, who has offered of her own time to meet with anybody who's having a hard time with peer reviews. She will meet with you. She will go through what you're doing. If you have any questions, please approach her or myself. We want to make you successful during this experience. That is our goal. It's not to be mean or to punish. We just want everybody to play nice, for lack of a better way to say it. And I really do believe these peer reviews can be very helpful if we just all do them. But if everybody does a good job and nothing else, then they just become a burden. And my goal is to hopefully have it not be a burden, but something that you find is helpful. So I hope this is clarifying for my late work policy. I'm going to post this up as an announcement, and I hope you have a wonderful day.